The Drunk Sports Podcast.
Moving on, Colby, I would like to tell you about the worst 24-hour stretch ever for a pro athlete. How do you like them apples? We're not done. We're not going to talk about apples anymore.
No, apples
We've been told not to talk about apples anymore. My bad.
Sorry, I was looking at my phone.
I know you were.
Yeah.
And I'm sure apples were addressed on your phone.
Yes, they were addressed on my phone.
I can only imagine.
Uh-huh.
The apples
Good
were meant
times.
for me, by the way. That probably didn't help.
No, it probably didn't help.
So, Colby, the worst 24-hour stretch ever for a pro athlete. All right?
Elvis Andrews with the Rangers?
You would like to think so.
Okay.
But let's go with 1992 and somebody that you might remember. But this guy in 1992, he lost the game. He lost the starting spot. He made a staff member cry. He crashed his car. He caused a major power outage in his community. He got ticketed by the police, and then he got released from his team. All in 24 hours.
Dear sweet God.
I offer you, Colby, the story of one Lewis Billups.
Never heard of Lewis Billups.
Did you watch the 1988 Super Bowl between Cincinnati and the 49ers? Well, you were like 11, right?
Yes, but I did. I have watched this game.
Okay.
Now, whether was it that exact time that I watched it,
Well, he
or
was
later
in it.
on?
So, in 1985, the Bengals sucked ass.
Okay, yeah.
They went to the Super Bowl in, 83 against the 49ers.
Yes.
Lost. Rapid decline. They sucked ass in 85, especially in the secondary. In 1986, they drafted Lewis Billups in the second round out of Michigan State because their secondary sucked so bad they needed secondary help, and he started immediately the following year. That season, he started 12 of 16 games. He missed 4 games due to injury. In 1988, he had his best year as a pro. Starting all 16 games, he had 4 interceptions, including 3 in the first 5 games. He scored a fumble recovery for a touchdown against the Browns, his only pro TD. The Bengals won the division and secured home field for the playoffs. In the AFC Championship game that year against the Bills, he played well, even had an early pick against Jim Kelly to stop a scoring drive for the Bills deep in Bengals territory. His career seemed on the rise after that game, and the league was noticing him. But Colby, it went downhill from there. Super Bowl 23, Bengals 49ers Part 2. Because remember, they played twice.
Yes, that's right.
Billups, before the game, decided to troll Joe Montana. Not Joe Montana.
Right.
Joe Montana.
It's not a good idea.
It's a genius move.
It's not.
He said if you take Roger Craig away from the 49ers, they got nothing. Montana can't throw the ball down the field anymore. He's done.
Oh, dear.
Which is funny because of the following. It's late in the fourth quarter. The Bengals lead 13-6 in the Super Bowl. The 49ers are driving deep in Bengals territory. Montana threw a 30-yard pass to John Taylor in the end zone. The pass hit Lewis Billups right between the numbers for a game-saving interception and touchback, and he dropped it.
Oh, dear.
The very next play, 30-yard touchdown pass from Montana to Rice, ties the game. The Bengals go 3 and out. The next possession, Montana orchestrates maybe the greatest drive in Super Bowl and football history to win the game and the Super Bowl. That drop might have cost the Bengals the Super Bowl, Colby.
Yes.
And that drop was the turning point of his career and apparently his life.
Oh, dear.
After the 89 season, he held out for more money. The team didn't care. They did not give in. He had to play. 1990, he held out for more money. The team didn't care. He gave in and he played. By 1992, his relationship with the Bengals was fractured.
Right.
He left to join the Green Bay Packers because they were good in the early 90s. Never mind, they weren't. They were terrible.
Don Majkowski.
Don Majkowski. This was actually 93, going into the 93 season. It was Brett Fair's first season.
Okay.
With the Packers. He started the first 4 games for the Packers. Everything seemed to be settling back on track until Colby, October 4th, 1992. And with October 4th, 1992, The worst 24-hour stretch ever for a pro athlete. The day started with Billups being relegated to the bench so the Packers could start their first-round pick out of Florida State, Terrell Buckley. This did not sit well with Billups, who barked at reporters after the game, complained he was being treated unfairly and that he was getting a raw deal. Actually screaming into TV cameras at the top of his lungs. But it gets worse. With Terrell Buckley starting in what was Brett Favre's return to Atlanta after being traded to Green Bay, the Packers lost 24-10. So far, Billups that day lost his starting job and he lost the game. Then he lost his temper at the post-game press conference. But wait, Colby, it gets worse. Since the game was a road game at the Georgia Dome, naturally the team has to fly back to Wisconsin.
Okay. Yeah.
On the flight, Billups ordered some food. I don't know if it was the fish or the chicken. When his food was late, he did what every red-blooded American does on a plane. Yelled at the stewardess.
Oh, I thought just wait longer.
He yelled at the stewardess until she literally ran away in tears.
Oh,
he made the stewardess cry, Colby, but wait, it gets worse. The plane lands. Billups has to drive himself home from the airport. Colby, he crashed his car into a wire holding up a power pole that knocked that power pole down in a one-car accident that was entirely his fault because he lost his control of his car doing over 100 miles an hour, thus totaling his car and causing 10,000 people in the area to be out of power in the middle of the night.
Talking about a bad, I'm sure after this he had nothing but good luck.
So because of this, Billups was issued a ticket by local police. But wait, Colby, it gets worse.
Oh, dear.
Because when Billups showed up to the team facility the following morning, just hours later, he was informed he had been cut. Maybe because Terrell Buckley was their star, maybe because of what he did on the plane, maybe because he wasn't very good, who knows.
Right.
But he was cut. So Colby, in a 24-hour period, Billups lost his starting spot, he lost the game, he lost his temper in the post-game press conference, he made a stewardess cry on the flight home, crashed his car, got a ticket from police, caused 10,000 people to lose power, and then he lost his job, by the way, never to play in the NFL again.
This is one of those moments to where in the middle of this story when you're trying to convey to your grandkids about how it would be better if you were to try and remain cool all the time and not let your emotions take the wheel, as they would say. This would be the part of the story where you go, and that's the reason why you don't have as much money as you should. Something along that lines, right?
But wait, Colby, it gets worse.
Oh, dear God.
Hey, Griggs. It gets worse, Colby. Do you feel sorry for Louis Billups yet?
I don't, no, because it sounds like most of this was a self-created act by himself.
Okay, good, because you're right. He was not a good person, Colby. While with the Bengals in '87, he allegedly beat up his girlfriend at the time, causing her to undergo 7 plastic surgeries to repair her face.
Man.
He was facing jail time until the charges were mysteriously dropped. Later, the girlfriend said that he told her if she put him in jail, he would simply hire someone else to finish the job he started and take a razor blade to her face.
Okay, then this is all good karma, and I'm actually glad every little bit of that happened to him.
But wait, Colby, it gets worse.
Oh, dear.
In 1990, Billups pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge after he waved a handgun at 2 undercover police officers. He served 30 days in jail. But wait, Colby, it gets worse. Later that month, prior to a Monday Night Football matchup against the Seahawks, he was named as one of the Bengals players who was involved in a gang raping of a woman.
What?
But wait, Colby, it gets worse.
Oh.
In 1992, the same month he was cut, he was accused of sexual battery. 2 months later, he was arrested for driving under the influence and resisting arrest. That same month, Billups allegedly sexually assaulted a woman, videotaped it, and tried to extort money from her. But wait, Colby, it gets worse.
Oh, my God.
In 1993, Billups was arrested after threatening Jenny Chapman and Washington Bullets player Rex Chapman, threatening to kill both of them. His argument in court as to why he should not be thrown in jail? Because I'm a football player, I deserve to play football. Colby, he went to jail anyway. But
I'm
wait,
sure.
it gets worse.
Oh, wow. How?
In 1994, just a few days after being released from jail, would you like to know how the story ends, Colby? The story does have an ending.
It does.
1994, just a few days after being released from jail, Billups died at the age of 30. He was driving his Ferrari over 100 miles an hour in Florida when he lost control. It hit a guardrail, and then it hit a sign which impaled the car. Billups was thrown from the accident and died instantly. However, a passenger in the car was also killed. So there's a tragic or maybe not so tragic ending to the Lewis Billups story. Karma? Maybe?
Yeah, no, that was a lot of karma.
Except for whoever died, the guy that died in the passenger seat.
Right, that poor guy died. Sorry about what happened with you.
So Lewis Billups, yes, the worst 24 hours, regardless of what happened after that, in a pro athlete's life, right?
Yeah, well, there may be able to. I mean, we're not sure. We haven't looked through every single pro athlete's life.
Well, that one's on record, though.
Yeah, we might can be able to find something. But dear sweet God, couldn't happen to a nicer guy, though, right?
No, that's what I thought, because as I was reading that, I'm like, man, so our buddy George Teague remembers him. He played with him at Green Bay. That was Teague's rookie year when he was there when all that happened. And, he's like, yeah, dude, we all knew that he was off the rails. Like, it was weird. Like, the guy wasn't even, there's human beings that are off the rails, and you get it, and you understand it.
Right.
He described him as being just so off the rails, like, everyone was scared to even talk to him. Like, it was so far gone.
You don't go near that guy. You're afraid that his craziness and madness might be catching.
The Drunk Sports Podcast.